Dudes, what's up? Eli Tomac retiring. That's what this video is all about right here. So, every time that this has been brought up to Tomac this year, he's kind of been brushing it off in a sense. Like, I think he actually said in an interview, I'll let y'all know when I'm going to retire. I'm tired of hearing it or whatever. I'm sure a lot of you guys seen that interview. But here we are. You know, he goes out there in the Indianapolis race. Where the hell was he even at, bro? We're talking a Triple Crown race with 3 main events, and Tomac was nowhere to be found. I knew it would end up like this. I'm fucking psychic. Remember when I just said, like, a few videos back there that right after Tomac did really good, like around Daytona, and even, like, I think he was getting, like, some second places and shit, and I told y'all boys, settle down a little bit. Some of y'all that were kept trying to say, Tomac's back, bro, he's gonna win the championship and shit. I tried to tell you, it's still 80% Tomac this year. You know, he's probably going to go out there and do more of what he's done this whole year so far, which is all over the place results, right? He'll go out there and get a second, and then he'll go out there and get an 8th, and then he'll go out there and get a 4th, and then he'll go out there and get a 10th, and then he'll go out there and get a 3rd. You know what I'm saying? That is literally what I just said in a video like a couple weeks ago. And that is exactly, precisely what Tomac is doing right now, okay? So, this really starts to bring up this question of, well, when is he gonna retire at this point, right? Because he still hasn't said anything about if he's gonna race outdoors or not. I know they interviewed, Jeremy Coker or whatever of Star Yamaha that, you know, asking, like, have you heard anything? Has there been any talks about Tomac even racing outdoors? He basically just said, we don't really talk about that far into the future. Tomac just makes a decision sort of on the fly, and they try not to pressure him or whatever. So, we don't even know if Tomac's going to race outdoors this year. We don't know if he's going to race super motocross, super duper motocross. We don't know if he's going to race next year. We don't have any idea. But I'm just saying, with the results that he's getting right now, I mean, it's borderlining on, like, I'm not going to say it's hurting his legacy, but you know what I'm saying? Kind of in his mind, I mean, yeah, he didn't want to end on the ruptured Achilles, but you also don't want to go out there and, like, not win a single race in a Supercross season, which is what he has done so far. Yes, he won the one Triple Crown earlier in the year, but he didn't win the overall, and he's not gotten a win in any main events. He's got a couple seconds, right? But for Tomac standard, that's not the same Tomac, right? So it really does bring up that question. But I wanted to read a tweet right here. I guess not even Twitter anymore, but whatever the hell you call them. This is coming from Daniel Blair. I thought this was interesting that he tweeted this. Daniel Blair says, it was over at Anaheim, but nobody wanted to believe it. No. It was over the second that he ruptured his Achilles. That's when it was over. I don't know what the hell Daniel Blair's talking about here, but it wasn't over at Anaheim. It was over last year when he ruptured that Achilles, and then he decided to come back, aka when I said Tomac can try to come back, but he ain't going to be the same Tomac. You see what I'm saying? It's like, that's why I said in those videos back then, he ain't coming back. That's what I mean. You're never going to see that same Tomac again because he was already on his way out. He goes out there and has one of the worst injuries you can have. He was not going to be the same Tomac in 2024. I don't understand why people even thought that in the first place. But, like, Daniel Blair tweeting, you know, it was over at Anaheim, but nobody wanted to believe it. Well, see, what you're going to have now is, now that Tomac's really starting to look like he ain't going to do much in this championship, now it's really starting to look like he's probably not going to get a win. You know, he's definitely not going to win the championship now, right? Now you're going to start getting all these guys coming out here saying like, well, it was over at Anaheim, or I told you so earlier in the season. It was over then. Now that it's actually looking like Tomac really ain't going to be the same guy and he's really out of championship contention, yeah, it's a real convenient time for a lot of y'all boys to start jumping off that Tomac train ship and start, admitting all of these things that I was saying last year, the second that he ruptured his fucking Achilles. Oh, this shit's frustrating, bro. When people do this, it's like they don't want to believe it. They don't want to believe it. They try to say Tomac's back. He's back, bro. After any little halfway decent result that he got this year, Tomac's back, bro. Multiple people went down that road. Very few people did I see actually out there saying things like, before the season even started, like, he ain't going to be the same Tomac, he ain't going to be the same guy, don't expect any crazy results. I barely saw anybody saying shit like that other than me. I mean, I was saying it was basically over back when he ruptured the Achilles. It wasn't over at Anaheim, Daniel Blair. It was over back when he ruptured that Achilles, bro. I don't have anything against Daniel Blair. He's a cool guy, but I'm just saying it's kind of silly to see those sort of tweets at this point, when it's fucking obvious that Tomac's not the same guy now, and then it's like these, I don't know, it's weird, like these certain Tomac fans have just sort of had to completely come to grips with it at this point that, oh damn, maybe the Achilles did actually affect him more. Oh, damn. Maybe this ain't going to be the same exact Tomac. Maybe this is just 80% Tomac. Yes. That's what I've been trying to tell you the whole entire time, brother. But anyways, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's like Tomac could try to race outdoors and super motocross and try to come back next year and all this crazy ass shit, but he might be better next year if he had more time, but I just think he's already so far down the road here in his career. It's like this was supposed to be a farewell season, and I feel like in his head he was thinking, if I could just go out there and get a couple wins and end my career like that, that's what I'm gonna do. He wasn't even really thinking championship, man, but at this point, he doesn't have a win, and he seems to be trending in the wrong direction, but it ain't really necessarily going to help him to just grit it out and stay in it and race next year and race the next 2 or 3 years. I just don't know what that's going to do for his legacy or his career to do that at this point. Had it been 3 or 4 years ago, this would have been a totally different story, but he was already at the end of his story when he ruptured the Achilles, so at this point, I'm just feeling like Tomac's best option probably is to just retire at the end of this Supercross season. I mean, he can race outdoors or whatever, but Jett's going to be fucking hauling out. Jett's only going to get better. So it's like, Tomac, it just wouldn't make any sense, and this goes back to all that I was saying back when he first ruptured his Achilles, and I said if he tries to come back, he ain't going to be the same guy. I don't know why he would even try to come back, because Jett's just going to be getting better and better and better in his prime. No big injuries. It just don't make no sense for Tomac. Tomac's proved everything he needs to prove. All he was really proving by coming back this year was that I'm not going to let my career end on the ruptured Achilles, which he's proved that. So I guess at this point, it's like, what is the point in Tomac staying there? What is the point? You see what I'm saying? I don't really understand why he would stay in it like that, but that's just my opinion on it. So yeah, definitely let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it. But yeah, I don't want y'all certain boys to be acting like you knew that Tomac wasn't gonna be the same guy. You knew that it was over for Tomac. Don't start acting like that now if you weren't saying that back when he ruptured his Achilles. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.